John is a member of North Carolina Academy of Trial Lawyers, 10th Judicial District Bar Association, and the North Carolina Bar Association. With his military background, he is active in supporting Miracle League of the Triangle and Marine Corps Toys for Tots. He is the founder of McNeil Law Firm here in Raleigh, and we met years ago. I was starting Mayola Investigations. He was a lawyer, and I very quickly became his private investigator. He is one of the most honorable persons I have ever known. John is committed to his friends, family, children, grandchildren, and his motorcycles. He and Kim have their own urban farm in the center of Raleigh, which they attend their bees and chickens and all the produce you can think of. John has strong beliefs and will stand behind them. He is committed to representing all the people of the 13th District. Help me in supporting John McNeil on his journey to becoming our Congressman for the 13th District. And let's wish the old man a happy birthday also.
Thankfully, Tommy told half my speech, so you guys won't have to listen to this for very long.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you, thank you. Thank everybody for coming here tonight. It was the perfect gift for me. Guilt you guys into coming. And guilt you guys into coming for my birthday party and supporting the campaign. I absolutely appreciate it. It's a nice turnout, and I appreciate everybody coming here today. My name is John McNeil. I think everybody knows me except a few people. My name is John McNeil. I am a Democratic candidate for the 13th District of North Carolina. That seat is currently held by George Holding. A lot of people, including my good neighbor Ronnie, has asked me, what on earth am I doing? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I am sick and tired of a do-nothing Congress that continues to just run amok in Washington. I'm sick and tired of a Congress that has nothing better to do than have a fact-free diet that is designed to divide us instead of unite us. I'm running to challenge the status quo that currently exists in Washington. I'm going to force Washington to do their job. I'm going to force Washington to act for North Carolina. I'm going to force Washington to act for the citizens of North Carolina and for all the citizens, not just the Republicans, not just the Democrats, and not just the independents. We need Washington to work for all of North Carolina and all of America. I believe Washington is empowered to do a lot of things that they're not doing. Washington and I will go up there and I will force change. I'm going to force Washington to fix the problems that they've created. I'm going to force Washington to fix the economic system that is keeping a whole lot of us down. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to force Washington to correct income inequality, to fix the regulations that are destroying our small businesses. I'm a small business owner. I know a whole lot of small business owners in this room. Small businesses are struggling. At the same time, large corporations, the regulations are being carved out to help large corporations get around the same regulations that are tearing our small businesses apart. We need the folks in Washington to work for average Americans. I am an average American. Tommy, I'm going to steal part of my speech back.
Should have gone over that.
We should have, yeah. Last time I give you my speech to read before I talk. I was born into a proud military family. My mom was in the Navy, my dad was in the Air Force, and eventually retired from the Army. My brother is a Marine. My sister, who's here, has supported me and my brother beyond belief. My sister sent me packages when I was in Just Cause. My sister sent me packages when I was in Desert Storm. She sent them to my brother as well. Our family, and well, I've got cousins and uncles who have served in our armed forces. I understand, and my family understands, the sacrifices that come with wearing a uniform and being in our military. 1986, as I'm sure Charles Malone knows, and Chris knows, and Ronnie knows, and probably a fair amount of this room knows, when you graduated from high school in 1986, there weren't a lot of opportunities for high schoolers. It's now 2016, there aren't a lot of job opportunities for college graduates, let alone high school graduates. High schoolers and college-age people these days, high schoolers in 86 and college people in 2016 are the same boat. There aren't jobs, there aren't opportunities. So back in 1986, I joined the Marine Corps. As Tommy said, I joined the Marines. I was assigned to Delta Company, 2nd Light Armor Reconnaissance Battalion at Camp Lejeune, and I've been here in North Carolina ever since. When I got my honorable discharge from the Marines, I went to college, and then I went to law school, and then I moved to Raleigh. I am blessed beyond belief. Some of my employees are here. One of my longest term employees is here. She's been with me for 12 years, and I've been practicing law for 16. She understands, and I understand, the struggles of running a small business. She knows as well as I do that small businesses are overregulated, that we're getting beaten to death, and it is nearly impossible to run a successful business unless you've got your hand in someone else's pocket. The problem is that pocket is always up in D.C., and most of the problem is that small business people in North Carolina don't have the money to buy the influence up in D.C. I promise to change that. Woo! My position as an attorney and as a mediator has allowed me the privilege and the horror of watching how the average American struggles. I watched the housing bubble, where people who bought a house 3 months later had a house worth half as much. I watched people who had decent retirements watch their retirement dwindle because of the dot-com bubble. What I'm watching now for a lot of parents and a lot of students is the impending student loan bubble. We currently have $1 trillion in student loan debt. That bubble is going to burst. The reason these bubbles happen is because Washington will not regulate the very businesses that are handing them billions and billions of dollars for their campaigns. It happened with the housing bubble, it happened with the dot-com bubble, and I guarantee you it is going to happen with the student loan bubble. And you know who's going to pay for these bubbles? Just like it did last year, just like it did 5 years before that, and 10 years before that. Average America is going to pay to bail out these industries. I'm sick and tired of that, and that has got to change. I'm an average American. I can't afford to bail out Sallie Mae or whoever else services my student loans that I can't remember at the moment. Goldman Sachs. I can't afford to bail out Goldman Sachs. I can't afford to bail out Wall Street. Again, you can't afford to do it again. How many more times are we going to have to do it? I say never.
Woo! Yes.
Let's let Wall Street do it and leave the average American alone. I, like many of you, are average Americans. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a veteran, I've got a farm, I ride motorcycles, and I'm a citizen, and I'm asking for your support, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your support and your vote on March 15th, 2016 for the primary, and when we win, I'm asking for your vote on November 8th in the general election. Because I know I've got a lot of friends who are Republicans, I've got a lot of friends that are Democrats, and I've got a lot of friends that are independent. I will represent every last one of you, and not just the Republicans, not just the Democrats, and not just the independents. Woo! Yeah! There it is. I cannot do it without your help. I know a lot of people have already donated to the campaign. Campaigns run on money. I am asking you tonight to donate to my campaign. I'm asking you to spread the good word. I'm asking you to tell your friends, tell your neighbors. You know, if you see somebody in the parking lot struggling or complaining, tell them there's change coming and tell them to support our campaign. I'm also asking for you to volunteer. I'm running a grassroots campaign. I don't have $500,000 or $1 million sitting in a campaign coffer given to me by Wall Street or by Goldman Sachs or by any of the other corporations that are filling out the coffers of my general election opponent. I need an army of volunteers, like I said, to knock on doors, to talk to the neighbors, to canvass the neighborhoods. The 13th district, if anybody has seen the 13th district, it is crazy. Looks like a rabbit chopping wood or something like that. It was specifically drawn to make it as hard as possible for any Democratic candidate or independent candidate to win in the general election. So I need people in all these counties. If you know people in Wayne County, if you know people in Nash County, Wilson County, Edgecombe, Franklin, Granville, Durham, I need everybody to help out as hard as they can and get people out to the polls and get them to vote. I'm going to say this, and hopefully this won't bring me to tears, but my greatest desire is for 100% of the people in the 13th district to vote. And I would rather 100% not vote for me than not vote at all. Your voice, everybody. Obviously, I want you all to vote for me. But the biggest problem facing our electorate is that people don't get out and vote. You get tired of watching campaign ads. You get tired of watching attack ads. Who doesn't? It's like watching, prescription drug ads. Eventually, you just tune them out and you don't think about it. But America's a democracy. It's not a democracy because, hey, it just happens to be a democracy. It's a democracy because people like Ronnie get out and vote. People like my sister, like my girlfriend, like my friend Tommy get out and vote. Cameron gets out and votes. Sherry gets out and votes. Claudia gets out and votes. Jen gets out and votes. Everyone has a voice. Your voice in this election, your voice is your vote. Let your voice be heard by getting out to the polls and voting on March 15th. Please vote for me. And getting out in the general election and voting for me on November 8th. Thank everybody for coming. I'm sorry my speech went a little bit longer. I'd love to sit around and talk to you. Stick around. We don't have the place. They have Heroes Pub has been kind enough to let us invade their place from 6 to 9, but they're open until 2 o'clock in the morning, I think. All right. So stay as long as you want. I'll be here until we clean up and close. So Winnie from Johnston County. I want to acknowledge a couple people. This is Charles Malone. Charles Malone ran in the 13th district. He knows how tough this job is. Charles Malone put a picture up about Teddy Roosevelt.